Okay, welcome back to another edition of World Paranormal Research Society. Today we have a special guest with us, Psychic Cynthia Tague. She is with us at Charm Life Psychic Readings, and it's good to have you with us on the show today, Cynthia. How you doing?
Really good. How are you guys doing?
We've just been busy, like you've been busy with dogs. We've been busy rescuing cats.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that time of year, I guess.
Yeah, and like I said, it's Alexandria here. We're really excited to have you join us to elaborate on more of the awesome things that you do. And like I said, I was really excited when Timothy mentioned that we are going to have you on the show.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm really, I feel really, what is that word I'm looking for? Blessed that you guys found me and that you asked me to be here. So I feel really blessed about that.
Well,
So
that's awesome.
well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, and we definitely thought we had something in common with the animal thing for sure. So,
Oh, good.
At what age did you first discover that you had psychic abilities?
Well, I knew since I've been really young that there was something different about me, and even my mother and my father, I noticed that I was like especially observant and like I just like knew things before, and I just like I knew for a long time, and it just kind of scared me, because I didn't know what was going on, and being raised Catholic and stuff like that, you don't want to like have people think that you're like possessed or something, so I kind of like didn't I kind of hid it for a while, and then as I got older I kind of like embraced it.
Yeah.
And I started reading and stuff like that, but it kind of like, I mean, it would be weird because I would like driving or something and be speeding. This is like bad to say, but I'd be like speeding or something. And then something would tell me, you better slow down or you're going to get a ticket. You better slow down or you're going to get a ticket. And then next thing you know, I'd slow down, because I usually listen to myself. And so I'd slow down. And then next thing you know, there's a police officer, you know what I mean? There'd be something like that. So, and one thing that's uncanny that has always happened to me is I have, this thing where strangers, people I don't really know, will just like come up to me and just start telling me their life story out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And like ask me for advice and stuff. And that's part of being empathic and stuff, because my abilities are that I'm an empath, I'm clairvoyant, clairsentient. So those are some of the things that I have. I mean, don't.
I have a question for you, because I know a lot of individuals that have psychic ability. It can be hereditary, because a lot of people that I've spoken to, I'm a lifelong empath too. I don't have psychic abilities, but I'm an empath. And I know a lot of people will say, my nan or my grandma was psychic too, or had these abilities. And some people are on the train of thought that it can be inherited, it does run in the family. What are your thoughts about that? Or does anybody else in your family that you're aware of also have psychic or empathic abilities?
Well, actually, I'm a third generation psychic. So my grandma, my mother's mother, my maternal grandmother, had psychic abilities, and so does my mom. Now my sister, I have just one sister, and I think that she has them, but she's not really in tune with them or anything. But they're highly. I just see what happened to me is when I was 4, I had open heart surgery because I was born with a hole in my heart.
Oh,
and I think that has really brought me, yes, and I think that that's what really brought me really close, made me help to really kind of bring me closer to the psychic, because I was kind of brought near death They basically stopped my heart and stuff like that. So I think that helped bring me closer to, to the psychic world, or whatever you want to say. It helped do that, because I mean, I've had these abilities since at least then, because I sensed it. But my grandmother, my mother's mother had it. I think that it's actually pretty. I agree with that. That it does come and work in families, and like if you have it in your family, you have it strong. But I also believe that everybody has a little bit of psychic ability. Like maybe not, like you have some sort of, like some people, like you said, like are empathic, or somebody might be like a little bit psychic, but they just haven't developed that. I feel like we all have some sort of a sense, because I think we all have, like, anytime you have a deja vu time, instance, or you just feel like something, you just haven't, your intuition is just telling you, hey, this isn't right. I mean, that's a psychic ability. You just might not be like me, who I can like tell somebody like what's going on, you know what I mean? Like, you might not have it as developed as I do. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Let me ask you this question, because we talk to a lot of mediums. We do a lot of interviews, actually, and most of them don't make it up on the channels because one reason or another, we just decide not to put the interviews up. Yours will be up. I have a question. The question is, I've been researching the Bible for a long, long time, since I was a kid, and many years. And so I come across psychics and mediums, and I always ask them the same question. I say, first off, I don't even know, because I haven't even asked you if you've ever done any like haunted locations or anything like that. But mediums and psychics that do this, they have certain different ways that they'll use protection for themselves, and a couple of them's like kind of confused me on the protection methods. Like, can you describe in your mind, because what would be something that you would do if you were going into a haunted location to protect yourself from anything negative?
Well, believe it or not, I pray. So I do pray. That's one thing that I do. And then another thing I do is I do use sage, and I sage myself. And I also meditate, and I don't know if they've told you this, but you meditate, you kind of put like a protective, I don't know, a protective bubble, I guess is what I would kind of like describe it as, around you if you're going to be doing something like that. And you'd have to do it when you read people too, because it protects you as a psychic from absorbing, like, even maybe somebody who has like negative energy or something that you might be, reading or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's even James spoke about it in the Bible. He said, look, because they were the people were asking James, hey, why Jesus said I can do these things, why can't I do these things? And he said, you're not fasting and meditating. And so when you fast and you meditate, that enables you to have a higher level of protection, power, and stuff like that. I'm glad you said that you use sage, and I'm glad that you said that you pray. My question,
Right.
A lot of people don't realize, if a medium comes up to me and they say, hey, I pray to the Archangel Michael, I'm highly confused about that, because we know, and I've interviewed mediums who agree that this is not, mediumship is not something that's really biblically okay from a biblical standpoint. So if you're gonna pray and ask an archangel to protect you when you're going into something that really is not supportive, and secondly, God controls the angels. So if you're going to pray, you'd want to pray to God and ask God to send the angels to protect you, not directly to the angel. But
I pray to God. I ask God for help. I ask God and Jesus for help. That's who I ask for help.
Yeah, exactly. And so, that's why we get confused a lot of times. And I kind of want to clarify that. And we were going to do a show on it, because we come across so many mediums that know what they're doing is not biblically okay. So, and let me just, for our listeners out there, let me put it in a perspective like this. Let's say I was going to go commit a sin. and let's say I was going to go steal something. If I was going to go steal something, I would not, prior to that theft, say, "Dear Archangel Michael, could you please help protect me in my mission of theft here?" And so, and I know that's a whole different level and stuff like that, but I'm trying to get people to understand that that this is not what you do. That if an angel's going to
Right.
protect you, that instruction is going to come from God, and that's who you're going to pray to. There's so many mediums that sit down right at a seance. I've seen videos of this recently. They're sitting down at a seance and they're saying, "We ask for protection from the Archangel Michael." Well, the Archangel already knows that you're not even supposed to be doing this in the first place, so it's highly unlikely he's just going to say, "Okay, yeah, I'm going to come help you." But the thing
Right.
is, now after you get in trouble at that seance, then you regret it, and then you're saying, "Okay, I need some help here." Then when you start praying and you angel whatever, I still say pray to God, but then they're more able to come help you, not before you're going to do something like this. I know this may confuse some people, but I hope that I'm at least getting a point through that when you pray to God and ask God for help and God for
Well,
assistance.
and I don't believe in using the Ouija board at all. I don't think you should use that. I think it opens up a lot of doors that you can't. It's something that you can't control, and I don't believe that you should be using a Ouija board.
Yeah.
I don't believe in them, and I feel that there's a lot of lies that come from a Ouija board. So I would never recommend or have it, and I would never have a Ouija board. So
Well,
I don't.
well,
They're kind of scary.
yeah, we do paranormal research, and we actually during our paranormal research that we've done, we actually will use Ouija boards. And so,
Do you?
yeah, but to keep in mind, we've been doing this for decades. It's not like we started yesterday. We've had a lot of experience with this. Not to say that it's still even safe for us to do this, but as a paranormal researcher, someone who's wanting to learn as much as I can learn. And again, I know that there's some things I'm doing that I probably shouldn't be doing from a religious standpoint, but I still do it because I'm looking to learn stuff from the other side, whatever I can learn. And I've used various tools, a Ouija board being one of them. And I do agree with you. People should stay away from Ouija boards because it's not good to use it. I'm not telling people to do what I do. And matter of fact, I would advise people not to use a Ouija board either. I agree with you on that.
And I think
Well,
too, a lot of things is that people have to take TV, Hollywood, and movies out of the equation. That it's made
exactly.
a lot of younger people saying, "That's cool. I'm going to be like this show." You have to be highly educated, because I know myself as well. I open a sacred circle. There's a lot of things that I do to prepare myself, to envelop myself in a white light when I'm going to be doing any kind of works. When the works are done, I close that. It's just like you're opening a door, and you've always got to make sure that you're closing the door. And another thing that I always ask our guests that I've seen on a television show, that a psychic medium or whatever
Oh my God, I already know what you're going to ask.
was encouraging people or their clients to practice yoga to get rid of demons, demonic attachments, or negative energy. And I feel that's very misleading and very unethical, in my personal opinion.
I've never heard of that, and I would never recommend that.
No,
I would never recommend. That's not a way to do it.
yoga's good from the standpoint of meditation, right? Helping with
Relaxation.
meditation.
Right.
But wow, the show that you got to realize, we were offered 3 different television shows and we turned them down for various reasons. But on one of the shows that got picked up, the lady tells this family that's living in a home, the home is possessed by demons. This is what she's telling them. And she said, in order to get rid of the demons, you need to start doing yoga. And that, we thought that was the craziest advice that we've ever heard. And
yeah, I don't agree with that at all.
No.
You know, and you keep speaking to that, like, some of this isn't biblical or whatever, but see, the thing is that I view my gift as a gift from God, and I feel that God gave this gift to me to help people, just like how I help animals, and how he gave me that gift because I help them. I also want to help people, and so I help people with my gift.
Yeah, no, I agree.
There's a lot of people that come to me. There's a lot of people that come to me that really need help, and I mean, even if it's just to listen, I will do that, and I don't try to overcharge or anything like that. I mean, I really want to help. I really want to help people because I really feel for them, especially nowadays with everything that's going on in this world. I just really feel that it's important, and I really appreciate this gift that God has given me. It's a blessing.
No, I agree with you that it is a gift, and all right. So when I say it's, in order to understand what I was saying, you'd have to go back and listen to several of our other shows concerning this. It's when I say it's not biblical, I'm talking about biblical from a standpoint of modern day Christianity. It is biblical to predate that. It is actually biblical, but when you're arguing with a traditionalist that's in modern day Christianity, they do not understand it. And so when I make the comment that it's not biblical, that's actually what I'm speaking to.
Yeah, that's true. That's true because I've had people, tell me that I'm a witch, and they mean that in a bad way. Like they'll say, well, you're just a witch, you're doing, or they'll, like if something bad happens to me, they'll say, well, maybe bad stuff is happening to you because of what you do. And they're talking about my psychic things. I just look at them and it's like, like, no, this is a gift from God. God wouldn't give me this gift if he didn't want me to have it.
Exactly.
And to use it for good.
Exactly. And those same people that's calling you witches and they're trying to use the Bible, ask them this. Ask them why the Gospel of John differs from the other three Gospel in like 7 major different ways. And if they say, does it differ? They don't understand that. Say, well, clearly you don't even read your own Bible to be able to call me a witch or to try to mislabel me and say that I'm a bad person. And so,
Right.
a lot of people don't read the Bible, but they want to try to use tradition and what they don't understand to go against you and try to attack you with it. So that's wrong.
Right. Yeah. Right. I understand that too when they say that to me, so I just, like I said, I respond back with that this is a gift, and I truly believe that it is, as something that I treasure and that I feel very, very lucky and blessed and grateful for, and will always feel grateful for. And I feel even more so grateful because, I got it from my grandma, and my grandma and I were like 2 peas in a pod. So she and I were very close. Yeah. So, and I feel her around me a lot, especially when I need her and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. And one of the things, because you do rescue animals, and and we're highly supportive of that, and we do the same thing. One of the things that I did want to ask is, for people that rescue animals, it's very difficult if you're nurturing an animal, if you're trying to have it recover from whatever condition it was in. It's very traumatic for somebody to watch an animal pass away. Very, very difficult. And so, and a guy that we've had on the show recently in Ireland, his dog passed away, and he was devastated. He had his dog for 16 years. He was very devastated, and it brought up the idea to maybe ask, do you know or have any story or history on where does the animal go spirit wise or anything like that after it passes?
Well, so the Rainbow Bridge is like something that humans kind of made up so that we feel better, but they do go to heaven, and they do come back. And okay, so I'll give you an example. My dog Scarlet, who I had for 17 years, she all of a sudden got sick and died. And this was like a couple years ago. And I was really devastated by it, because 17 years having a dog for that long is, I mean, that's a long part of your life.
Of course.
And so so then, I was like debating on whether or not I did the right thing. And I was like, am I going to see you again? I mean, I was like sitting, talking like that to her, just kind of in my mind and out loud, I want to see you again. I miss you. And so then a couple of days after she had died, I had this dream about her where she came to me, and I was walking, and she came walking up to me, and I was like, oh, you're not dead. You're not dead, And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like so mad at the vet because they had told me she was dead, And then I was so happy to see her, and she was happy to see me. And then we went to we went to the vet for me to show that she was still alive or whatever. And then and I was like so happy, and she like hugged me. I don't know if you guys know, but Doug, like, my dogs kind of like hug me, like rub their head against me or whatever sometimes, and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I know it's like a hug. And she was doing that. And then all of a sudden she turned into a cat. Isn't that funny? She turned into a cat. And I was like, okay. Yeah, it was really weird. So I was like, oh. And I was like really happy. And I know she came back, and basically what that dream told me is that she's okay. She came back to visit me because that was her coming to visit me, because I had asked her to. And she'd come back to visit me, and she's basically letting me know that she transformed. She's over there, you know what I mean? Like, she's now transitioned, and she's in a better place. And that's how I took that. Like, I took that she's now transitioned, and she's she's feeling better, and she's no longer sick, and she's happy and stuff. And that gave me peace. That gave me a lot of peace.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I often feel from dogs. See, I can read. I also am an animal. I communicate with animals too. So, like, even with my dog now that's ill, I could tell she was ill and I knew to take her to the vet. Like, I can communicate with them, and I can tell how they feel. So, it's just, they do go to heaven. I know people worry about that. You will see them again, and sometimes you will see them. If you ask them to present themselves to you, they will present themselves to you, either in a dream, or like you'll like, even if like, okay, so like a good example is like, you're just sitting there, and then all of a sudden something makes you think of them. That's them, like, presenting themselves to you, saying, hey, I'm still here. And some people still can, like, some people will actually, like, feel their presence. Like, I've known people that have said that they felt like after their pet has died, they felt something like that, felt like it jumped on their bed, and they felt like their dog who passed away, or their cat that passed away. They're never far away from us,
Yeah.
Just because you can't see them doesn't mean, and I do believe that they'll be waiting. I do believe that part of the whole Rainbow Bridge myth is that they will be waiting for us when we pass on. And I know, I actually know that they will be.
Well, that goes all the way back to the ancient Egyptians too. They very much believed that their animals would be on the other side, as well.
Right. That's right. That's why they had them buried with them.
Yeah.
There's many, like, a lot of them had, like, their cats and a whole bunch of other kinds of animals with them, because they thought that they would come back when they came back, because they believed that, that they were going to come back too, so they'd have their animals buried with them. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for that to go back through so many different civilizations, so many different cultures, and so many people sharing that same belief. And just like you said, there's very strong evidence that this does happen, where the pet will return and visit the owner, and it's so much evidence out there. But
well, and you should talk to them. I mean, you should talk to them, and say hi, just whatever you want to say to them, because they can hear you. They can hear you.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not feel like it, but they can. And like I said, that dream that I had, I know was complete evidence to me that my dog heard me. Yes.
All right. So let me ask you this question. Going back
Okay.
to just your psychic ability and stuff like that, or what is the
Mhm.
craziest experience that you've ever found yourself in, as far as like psychic, empath, medium, whatever?
Crazy. You mean like somebody who came to me with a crazy, like somebody who was
I should
I mean, I've
say,
had a lot of different. I guess I'm not sure. Like, can you be more specific, like what you're
well,
meaning?
I probably would refer to I guess the scariest instance.
Oh, the scariest.
Yes.
I haven't had a ton of scary. Well, okay, yes. So a few times, um, I will hear my name being called, and there's no one around.
Oh
Um,
wow, that's
It happened. Yeah, one time it happened when first time it happened was when I was a teenager, and I was going out to meet at my friends, and all of a sudden I heard a male's voice say, "Cindy, Cindy," and I'm looking around, and there was no one. I mean, my mom and dad live in the woods, okay, so I'm thinking, oh, what the heck? And I couldn't see anybody at all, and there's like nobody around. And then I ignored it, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy here. I don't know what this is. And then a few seconds later, I heard, Cindy, Cindy again. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I ran to my car. I got in it really fast and took off because I was scared.
oh wow.
And then and it's happened to me a few times since. One time though it was a female that did it, but the other two times but that's happened to me. And the other time it wasn't like the other times it wasn't like they didn't say my name so many times, but it was like they'd say my name Cindy, and they actually called me by my nickname Cindy, not Cynthia. But yeah, and I don't know who it was. I didn't recognize the voice either. So that's probably about the scariest. That's about the scariest thing. And actually, I had it happen to me just less than a year ago, where that's happened.
Oh
Like
wow.
I was outside in my backyard, and I heard it, and there was nobody out there. There was like nobody, and I can see around me. I don't live in the woods here, and there was nobody here, so
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I had a question
Yeah.
for you too. Do you use tarot cards at all? Do you do tarot cards readings? Are you a fan of tarot cards?
Um. Well, I mostly just use my psychic ability. When I do readings, I mostly use my psychic abilities, my clairvoyant, my clairaudience. But I will use them if a customer or client really wants to use them. I prefer not to use them because I think I'm more accurate than the cards are.
Right.
I have a pendulum that I will use, and sometimes I will use that. That's pretty accurate. But for the most part, I just use my abilities because I feel that that's more accurate. But if people feel more secure in me using cards because they want to see the cards, then I will use them. But I would prefer not to use the cards
Right.
if I don't have to.
Oh, that's good to know. I had another question too. With all this stuff that's going on in the world, with first it was COVID, then it's the war in Ukraine, and all the negativity that's in the world. With the sickness, people sick, dying from COVID. Then there's a war. I mean, have you found that yourself personally that it's really taken a toll on being an empath, or having people come to you that are really conflicted, or the need for help greater during times of conflict?
Yes. I noticed too that that energy comes around, you feel, I feel, um, heavier. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I feel that, and I feel tired, more tired, less energy. I feel worn out, worn down, and things like that. And like, especially when there's a lot of sadness, like, I'll feel it deeply, and like, I'll like just start to cry, for like no reason sometimes,
Right.
because I will feel the sadness from whatever is going on. And because I was even doing that during the 9/11 stuff.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that was really.
I had a hard time, with everything. I was really feeling it then, and I was having a hard time uh, with with those emotions then, feeling everybody's pain. I couldn't hardly even, like, I really couldn't really turn on the TV because it affected me so much.
Yeah, yeah, that's a lot of things that are going on, and I really think that, pardon me, stressors in the world and conflict in the world really takes a toll on an individual, especially if you're a psychic, if you're an empath. It just takes its toll on you.
It does. It does, and that's why I try to meditate, and I pray, and I try to make sure I do things to try to help, to try to, and I don't like to, like, say things or do things to, like, so I get a pat on the back, but I try to make sure I do good things in this world, and that's why I like to do, like, the animal rescues stuff, is because I think that when you've got all these bad things going on in the world, if you can put as much good out there as you can, I think that helps the world. That helps heal the world. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and there's a lot of people too that are under the misconception. I've met a lot of people that have this mindset, and it doesn't matter what you say or do, you're not going to change their mind. They're under the philosophy is if you're a psychic or you're a medium, then you must know the winning lottery numbers, and if you don't, right away, then you're not who you say you are, and they don't understand. There's a misconception, there's a lack of knowledge, a lack of understanding on when you're working with spirit or you're working with a specific gift.
That is so ironic. I was just thinking about that before before the show, actually. That is so funny. Yes, they do. They're like going, well, if you're such a good psychic, then, like, what am I thinking? And I'm like, well, I never said I was a telepathic. I never said I can, like, read your mind, And then they're like, or they'll say, well, how come you haven't won? I've had that before. How come you haven't won the lottery then? How come you're not rich? And I'm like, oh, well, I don't think God gave me this gift to be, like, rich. That's not why I'm doing this, and it's absolutely correct. They don't understand. I believe it's ignorance. And I believe it's also, don't you think it's also kind of fear, like fear in the unknown for them? That's what I kind of think. Like, they're just scared because,
you know what
we know something they don't, or something,
I completely agree with you, because fear is instilled in us as a small child. I can remember a lot of parents saying, well, if you don't behave, the boogeyman's going to get you. If you don't do this, there's always instilling fear uh, when we are young about if you do this, you don't do this. So people, like you said, there's the fear of the unknown, and instead of educating
right.
yourself or talking to people, reading a few books, or just having an open mind. See, when we're children, we have an open mind because it's not been uh, butchered by mainstream media. People saying you got to do this, you got to be this, you got to wear this. You're more open as a child to just see the world as it is.
Right. Exactly.
And there's a lot of mediums that are very, very hesitant to come on our show because they think we're going to challenge them and say, hey, you do a reading right now. And we're not like that at all. We don't do that because we know how this works. We understand completely how
Right.
this works. And we're not here to pressure mediums or challenge. We do a little research on people before we actually invite them to the show to see if this is going to be a good fit for us or whatever. And sometimes they are, sometimes they ain't. But a lot of people that we actually thought would be good fits, and you invite them on, and they end up rescheduling. They do that because I'll later find out that they say, "Oh, well, I thought you were going to challenge me on the show," and I'm not here to challenge or try to embarrass somebody who's got a gift. We're just here to interview people, and that's what we're here to do.
Right. And
So,
I felt like this was a good opportunity. I mean, to be honest with you, I think it's always good to have these kind of opportunities to open up people's minds. I really do. Because I think shows like what you guys have do that. And that's why I really wanted to be on here, is because I really think that these kind of shows are very important for people to hear.
And
yeah.
you're right. It's just like you're peeling an onion. I mean, you've got to peel away an onion so people can understand. It's not all, like I said, on TV shows, Hollywood movie. Well, if the movie said it's this, that's the way it's really done. Well, sometimes they have a hard time distinguishing between reality and fantasy. And when we have individuals like you that have a natural born gift, and you're also, again, I mean, rescuing animals. I mean, you've already got your wings already there,
That's
so
what
you don't have
really
to.
that's what really drew us to want you as a guest. To be honest, the whole animal thing, because we always support people that do a lot for animals. And just like you were saying earlier, these modern day traditional Christians, a lot of them who's never read the Bible would challenge you and want to call you witch or this and that. But they're not
Mm-hmm.
good stewards. To be a good steward, you take care of the animals, you take care of the earth. And a lot of people ignore
Right.
animals. And if you look at one of the most demon possessed women in entertainment history, Linda Blair, she runs an animal rescue. And, I say that jokingly when I say demon possessed because, the Exorcist film. But
Yes.
she's actually doing good things in her personal life. She's running animal rescues and she's doing great work.
And it's amazing because I've shared pictures of our cats to Linda, and we've had a brief conversations about cats, and she liked the picture of our cats. So it's sort of kindred spirits when you can kind of link with somebody that talks the same lingo as people do, and it's just, like I said, it's refreshing to have someone that is open about their gift, and it is a gift. And but like they always say too, myself being an empath, when you have a gift, there's always sort of a curse, because if you don't know how to protect yourself, going to a shopping mall, crowded locations, being an empath, if you're not on top of your game and you don't know how to protect yourself, man, they can suck the energy, the life right out of you.
Yeah, you're talking about energy vampires. Yes, and there's a
Exactly.
lot of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them out there, and they can really drain you. And actually, then you start kind of feeling how they feel if you don't protect yourself. So you really got to, make sure you use some sort of a protection for something like that, because there's a lot of people that are like that, especially with the way things are now.
What we like to ask all psychics and medium, and I know you said you use sage and you pray, which is great. And I try
Mm-hmm.
to express the importance of sage to a lot of people who kind of just brush it off. And it's not just sage; it's actually sweetgrass is very good too. We use sweetgrass and we use
Mm-hmm.
sage. Is there any other things that you can recommend that people may use, like be it a rock, an herb, or anything like that you also use besides sage?
Well, I carry my crystals and my rocks with me constantly all the time. And you can go to any um I don't know what you want to call them, those spiritual stores that you can get your crystals and stuff from, anything that you're attracted to. Always, if you carry like a crystal quartz, that's a good thing. Another thing that you can do too is like salt is always good. Salt always is a good protection. But you want to make sure that you cleanse your house first before you put like salt around at your doors or windows or anything like that, because then if you have any negative energy in your house, then you're also keeping that negative energy in the house.
Trapping it in, yes.
So you wanna make sure you cleanse your house first before you lay your salt down. And I don't know, June 1st is coming, so I don't know if anybody knows this, but it's really good for your house, I guess, if you get salt and cinnamon and you blow it into your house, and then you ask God, or the universe. Some people, whatever. That's what people try to say. Ask for it to bring you good luck and bring your home good luck.
Well, that's awesome. And you're the first person I think we had on the show that actually, you had a valid point, and it's actually what we do when we go cleanse homes, and we cleanse a lot of homes. You want to cleanse the homes before you salt it. Yeah, exactly.
And another good thing, I don't know if you actually bay leaf too. If you boil a bay leaf or whatever, it takes a lot of the negative energy. It cleanses your house by using bay leaves as well too.
Yes, that's very, very good thing to use as well. I just use sage. I use sage because it's easy to obtain, and it's just easier for people to remember. And you can just go around your house, and that's why I use that. But a lot of people don't think about it. A lot of people think, well, if I just put salt down and I just salt my house, I'll be fine. And it's like, no, you have to make sure you cleanse it first and then put it down, because then if you have any negative energy, it's going to stay in there too. It's going to stay in there with you. So you don't want that to happen.
Let me ask you this. What's the importance of cinnamon with the salt?
That basically helps it's like it's supposed to speed up the action. Speed it up. That's what it's supposed to do.
Kind of like, actually, cinnamon's a good fat burner as well, and so it speeds up your metabolism.
True. It is.
Yeah.
It is, but it also speeds up and they use it in, people will use it in like if they do spells and stuff too. Like it's supposed to like make everything happen faster, or gives it more power. I guess gives it more power. That's probably a better wording for it.
Yeah, makes it more potent.
Potency. Yeah, really.
Yeah, more. Right. Okay. So that's why they do that.
What I kind of want to do at this point is try to just let people know how they can get in touch with you. The best way, if they want to contact you, list some of the services that you provide and how people can get in touch with you for certain services.
Okay, so they can get in touch with me on Facebook, and it's the Charmed Life Psychic Readings. So they can get in touch with me through that. They can also email me it's a Charmed Life 22 at yahoo.com. And
now you do psychic readings, and what else do you do? Is it just psychic readings that you do, or they can contact you for any other spiritual services or anything?
Yes, they can. I do. I will do readings. I have done certain type of spells, but I don't like to do the. I won't do like. There's certain spells I won't do. I don't know how. I mean, like, I will tell people what to do, I guess is what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
Most of the time I just do readings. I do readings. And also I'm also, I don't know if you know this too, but I'm also on Psychic Center. I'm also a reader on Psychic Center, so they can also get a hold of me on there.
I don't even think I've ever heard of that. What is that? Is that like a?
Yeah, it's a psychic line where people can call and get a hold of psychics on there as well.
Oh.
So I'm also on there. Um, the kind of things that I do. I mean, I have, I can do tarot. I use my pendulum. That's pretty much all that I really use. Besides my psychic gift, I would rather use my psychic gifts.
Now, if they call
Than the tarot
Psychic
and stuff.
Center, do they request you? Can they request you, or are they just you're giving any kind of psychic out there?
No. They can request me. They can, and it will be under Cindy with
Okay.
that.
Right.
But that's how they can. That's the way that they can contact me.
Yeah.
Is through those
Sorry
devices.
to interrupt, but when I heard you talk, this sort of brought a question to light that I should have brought forward previously,
Okay.
because I know a lot of people do psychic readings at big venues or whatever. As a psychic, do you think it's important to have a relatively quiet area when you're doing psychic readings, like at a convention or something where there's so much noise and stuff? How important is it to have a location that's sort of private and kind of quiet, or the noise doesn't bother you?
I think it's very important to have it quiet and not have a lot of people around you, because other people's energies kind of collide with that person that you're trying to read.
Like,
and if you have all these other things going on,
like at a bar or
makes
something like that, a bar or a saloon like that, would that be an idea place to do readings or something like that? I mean, I don't do readings.
no, but it is kind of important that you kind of do it, and then when you're kind of in a quiet spot and you don't have a whole bunch of people sitting around. You know what I mean? Because I try to concentrate on the one person.
I feel it's not really doing what I should be doing, because it's almost like an assembly line kind of a thing. You feel
Right.
rushed, you feel on edge when you should be focusing on what you should be doing. Because I know there's other people that do it in bars and stuff like that. I'm not talking about me, but other people. I know, but some people on a regular basis.
Yeah, I know.
That it's just, to me, wouldn't be conducive, or I wouldn't be doing the client or the individual justice by, I think, for me, doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I've done events in lots of different places. I've done them in people's homes and things like that too. But I would go into a separate room and then read each person individually. So I've done that before too.
Oh, that's
It's just much easier if you don't have all those energies around you, because they tend to be distracting, I guess is the best way for me to put it. And I feel like I can focus better if I have the one person in front of me and I can really concentrate on that person. Because I like to, when I'm reading for somebody, give them all of my attention. And I like to do a good job. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to give them a bad reading, and I'm pretty accurate, so I've got a good reputation for that.
That's awesome. And so
So
we encourage people to contact you and see if they can set up an appointment with you. So I would actually suggest that people actually contact you and set up an appointment and get their readings done. I mean, I highly encourage it. But yeah, and one of the things I wanted to ask you before we ended the show was, okay, so when you do the animal rescue, I'm assuming, I know it's very difficult to do that. Is there, if people wanted to help you in that, is there like a somebody that they need to contact, or they just contact you if they want to donate like dog food or any supplies or anything like that for your animal rescue?
yeah, they can just contact me if they want to donate to the rescue. Or the one rescue that I'm mostly involved in is Rockstar Cocker Rescue. That's what it's called. And so you can also contact them, but you can contact me, and because I'm actually an event coordinator for that rescue. So I do events, I coordinate events, and plan them and do them for the rescue and everything. And I'm a foster and a volunteer. I do all that for them.
Yeah.
So I can always get it. If you,
That's amazing. That's awesome.
I'd be glad to. I'd get them anything that they needed and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I think people listening that they may not realize, for the people that actually do the work like us and you do rescuing animals, that we take a lot of money out of our own pocket to do this, to save animals, to help
Yes.
animals. And
Yep. Yes, we do.
And it's hours and hours of dedication.
Well, those kittens, those 5 kittens that I told you that I just rescued. I mean, before we found any rescue to take them, my neighbor and I, we were feeding them, and we gave them a bed, and we were giving them milk, and we were actually like bottle feeding them and stuff. So, because they're so young.
Yeah.
So we were doing all that before, and keeping them safe, till we could find a rescue to take them. And we're just glad, because I have a whole colony of stray cats that live out here. I feed them every day, and so does she. And they're hard to catch. And so it's just really important for us to like keep them as healthy as we can, and we wanted to get these guys off the streets, because it's just gonna be one. I mean, they're just going to end up breeding, and then there's just going to be all these more cats. And this way, if they go into rescue, there's not going to be all these cats everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're just happy they're going to have homes, and they're going to be happy and loved.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the important thing.
Well, keep up the good work, and we really appreciate you joining the show. And whenever the show comes out, I'll definitely send you a link to it so you can listen to it. But
okay.
Yeah, it's been
thank
great.
Thank you for inviting me, and thank you. It was so nice meeting you, and it was so nice speaking with you, and thank you for the privilege. And
we appreciate you and everything that you do. And like I said, you've already earned your wings already. So like I said, you got it made. And like I said, we need more people like you to make the world a better place. And thank you very much for honoring us with being on the show.
Well, thank you for what you guys do too. Those cats need you guys, so thank you, because there's not enough people that take care of cats. So thank you so much for everything that you guys do. You guys have also earned your wings. So I guess we'll be seeing each other in heaven then, huh?
That's right.
Yeah. There you go.
We'll have all the cats and dogs hanging around us.
That's right.
I'm gonna be late though. I'm gonna take my time getting there.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you have a good one.
That's funny. Okay, you too, and thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thanks for asking me to be on your show.
And enjoy your weekend. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, you too. You guys have a great Memorial weekend too.
You too.